to create a tree node using Angular. In my previous video I showed you how to create an Angular app from scratch. Today I'll be showing you how to create a tree node using Angular, Material, and the Flexbox. So let's get started here. So in my app.component.html we'll create a div, and in this div the class we'll call it container, and the fx flex will be 100%, and the fx layout will be row because we'll have two main divs, the one for our tree node, and the second one will be for our results. So just so you can see it properly. So the first div, it will be fx flex 50%, and I'll copy this for the second one. Now that we have our container, we go to the CSS, and I'll be background color, background color. All right, so it will be what was it? I have it right here. All right, so this is our background color for the container. We have the height 100 VH and the width 100 VW. So this is for our container. If you go back to the UI, now we have like a dark mode. So now that we have that, we'll go back to our HTML, and now we'll create the mat tree node. So it's mat tree, and in the mat tree we'll pass the data source, and we'll call it data source. We're gonna declare our variable later on, and in this data source we'll have the tree control also, and we'll call it tree control. And also the class will be tree, let's call it tree, fx flex 100%. So now that we have the basic right here, now we have the mat tree node, and in this mat tree node we'll pass the directive, which is mat tree node def, and inside let node, and we'll pass also the toggle, and the class I'll call it node click. I'll show you later on why. And right here, so node dot will pass the name, because our interface will have name, status, and children. So now that you have this, now we want the mat tree node nested also. So this is the mat tree node nested. Inside we'll pass also the directive of mat tree node def and let node, and here we have also the children. If it has child right here, and we go down, we'll create a div class, we'll call it mat tree node, and inside we'll have a button, and in this button will be mat icon button, and we'll pass also the toggle of this button, and the attribute dot area label, and we'll pass toggle. We'll close this plus the node dot name. So this is done. So inside of the button we'll also have the mat icon. So mat icon, and the class will be mat icon RTL mirror. All right, and in this mat icon we will call the tree control dot is expanded, and inside we'll pass the node, and here expand more, and we'll have the chevron icon right. So now we have right here we have this treenode, the button, and what else we have inside the div also will have a span, a regular span, the node dot name. And the node.name, this is the interface we'll be creating, so we'll do it now later on. So now we have the mat tree node. So let node when has child, and we're passing right here. All right, so right here, perfect. Okay, so now that we have created this, now we need another div before we're closing, another div, and in this div it will be for the expanded. So so class dot tree invisible, and we'll pass the condition of tree control if the tree control expanded, and we'll pass also the node, and the role will be group. So now that you have this, inside we'll have the ng container, and inside the ng container we'll have the mat tree outlet. So I think this is it for now. So let's close this right here. So now you can see that everything is in red almost, like that data source and the tree control has child, because now we will create all this with our TS file. So there's many ways of doing this, all right, but the way I will be doing is basics. So I'll do it from here. Usually I don't do it from here. Usually I do it from, I create an interface, and okay, you know, so it's okay. So interface cars node. All right, so in this object we'll have the name, and it will be a string. Also we'll have status, and it will be a boolean, and we'll have the children, and it will be optional. All right, and we'll go back to the car node. So in this children, it goes back to name, status, and children. So each node have the same parameters. So right here, and we'll create a constant tree data, and we will be using the car node. And inside this, for example, let's say we have name Honda, right? And the children of that, the Honda, will have another array object name, let's say Civic, and okay, for now let's do it like this. We'll have name Accord, and we'll have a name. What will be the name of this one? What else? Oh, CRV. All right, so I think I'm missing something right here. I did something wrong. All right, so here, let's continue. What did I do wrong? Okay, because I didn't pass the status, right? Because it's not optional. So let's say status true. I'll tell you why we are using the status. So status false, and I want right here status and I want it to be also true. So what else? Right here, closing, and this should be good. Oh, why it's not working? So we have here one status is missing. Where? Right here. So status and true. All right, so now we have Honda, and the Honda have children, which is Civic, Accord, CRV. We can also have children in each one of them. For Civic, I can have children, I don't know, Civic 4-door, Civic 2-door. So it goes on and on and on. All right, so but for this example, I'm just gonna create two examples, and those examples will be very short. So here I have also BMW, one of my favorite cars. So status, and it will be true, and children will have also actually we'll have to, I'll put two examples right here and another one right here. So in this we have name, we'll have 528, and the 528 status will be false. And what else can we do? The 528, and let's say it has children, and name children is XI or name I, and we'll pass also the status is false, and right here status is also false. So now that we have this, we'll create 528. So I can copy this, I'm just gonna paste it right here, and I'll change it to 535 and change for true, and we'll have, let's say, turbo right here, and we'll have this one is, let's say, we'll keep it I, and for here we have true and true. So we created this array of objects right here. Okay, so we have constant. Now we need to create the data source and the tree control. So tree control equal new nested tree control, and we'll pass cars node inside, and node dot children. Also now the data source new mat tree flat, not flat, we have nested data source, and also we'll pass the interface right here. And now we need our constructor also. So constructor, and in the constructor, this data source dot data equal to the tree data, the one we created right here. So we're just assigning the data source to the data that we created, right? So now all we have to do now has child equal, okay, and number node, and we'll pass cars node, and now we have node dot children and node dot children dot length more than 0. That's it for here. And let's see. All right, so let's go back to our UI. Oh, it looks like, all right, so we have on the left side you see the place for the nodes, and on the right side for the results. Now we're gonna tweak this so it looks better and nicer. So here now we'll go to the CSS part, all right, and we'll create our everything. So now we have the tree invisible class that we need to create, right? We have the class of tree, the class node click, and the mat tree node. So let's start. All right, so first of all, I'll do the node click. All right, so the node click will be cursor pointer, because when I want to click, I want it to be like a pointer. All right, so this is done. Now we have this is done. We can also put everything inside the container, but for this video purposes, we don't need to do this. So now we have the tree invisible display none. All right, I don't want to display none. Now we have the tree, and we go with the mat nested tree node div, and the role of it, which is the group, and we'll do padding left 40 pixels. Usually I use rem, but for this example we'll keep it like this. So also tree div and the role, which is group, and now we're gonna do mat tree node, and inside padding left 40 pixels, and this is done. Let's go check. Oh, nice. Okay, so now we have node, we have the nodes, we have Honda and BMW. If you click on Honda, we have Civic, Accord, CRV. If we go BM, we have 528, 535, and on each one of them, like the 535, we have turbo, we have the I, and 528 we have XI and I. You see now the pointer, cursor pointer, so it's perfect. So this is our nodes. So now what we have to do in the result part, all right, so in the result part I'll be creating first of all, I need the FX layout to be aligned to center, and I want the FX layout a column, and the column for one reason, because I want them to be one after another, so not in a row. There will be like, it's like a break line. I don't know how to explain it. So also will be integrated a mat spinner. So mat spinner, yes. So this is a mat spinner. Let's go check it out first. So now we have, you see it's center, so it's center from the height and the width, so it's in the center. So now we have a loader, and after that we'll pass to the loader a variable, and I'll show you after. But for now we'll create a mat card, a simple mat card, and this is all material, right? So in this mat card we'll have mat card title, and in this mat card title we'll have title. All right, so here I want the subtitle, mat card subtitle, and this is it. So now we will be creating a data results, right? And it will be of any type, of any for now, or I can pass the car nodes. Yes, I can do that. What do you think? Yes. So let's create. So to be able to create a click on let's say civic, accord, and the children right here. So the end of the nodes, I'll be creating a click right here, and the click I'll do it right here. So on the mat treenode, so on click I'll call it what do you want me to call it? Node click, load data, and I will pass the node. I'll go back to the TS, load data, and of course I'll pass the node and of cars node, the interface, and we can do a console log node for now. And now that we have created this result, I want to push the results into the node. So I can do this data results dot push, and I want to push, let's say, the name, and I'll pass the name dot node dot name, and also I can do the status. I'll pass the status of the node, so node status. And also, what do I, okay, this is it, I guess. I don't need more than this. I don't need this for now. So the data results, it's a car node. And now what we want also is when the data is pushed, right? When we click, I want to show the data and the spinner stops. So I will create a variable called loading, and it's a boolean, and it will be true from the beginning. And once the data is loaded, so I can do if data results dot length is more than 0, all right, this loading equal false. Else I want this loading to stay true, because this is what I want for now. All right, but once the first time it pushes the results, it will always be false, right? Because we passed already, it was true. Now we have data. We can also put it above, but just for this sake purposes, we're not gonna go deep. So now we're gonna do an ngIf in the mat spinner and if loading, ngIf loading, and the mat card will do an ng4, and in this ng4 let res of results, data results, and in this data results what I want, it's the res dot name, and here res dot status, right? So let's go see this. If we go to civic, now we have civic true. There's something we forgot actually, and here we will have the fx layout. It will be row, and we'll have fx gap, also layout gap, and I'll do 10 pixels. So there's a gap between the result, the name, and the civic. So also we can do fx layout align, fx align, and it will be center. So let's go back. So now we have civic, true, click, accord. Also we can do something else. So right here I can actually create a class, right, and I will call it card, and go back to the CSS card, and in this card I want a margin. We can do margin top or margin bottom, but I just want to keep it like this, so 5 pixels. Let's go back, civic, true, accord. So now there's space because I put a margin around it, CRV 528. So this is very important. Now we have true or false, what we can do, let's just say if this car is available or not, right? So what we can do here, let's pass a function, okay, and get status, let's call it get status, right? And what we'll pass, it's the res dot status, or if you want the res, because it's the data. So just gonna create this function right here. I'll show you what I mean. So get status, okay, so the result status, I'll call it status, and it will be a boolean, right? Because the status will receive, it's a boolean. So what we can do is status we can do blah 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 blah, we can do, you can do an if case with the return. So let's go easy. Usually I don't do that, I do other things. So if status, okay, is true, I want to return car available, right? And if not, I can do return not available. There's so many ways you can do this, but let's just stick to the easy part. So car available, car not available, car available, because in our interface we passed that the status, we can call it whatever you want. You can put availability and pass the data if this car is available or not, right? So we have this, so it's perfect, it's working properly. What we can also do, we can delete some of them, right? So we can do, let's get mat icon delete, just forgot the name, and blah blah blah, delete, where's the delete part? Mat icon. So I'm just gonna check, thumbs up, I think it's remove, it's material font Angular, and we can go Google sometime, okay, all right, so found Google, and we go to icons, and let's say delete, yes, so this one, so it's called, what is called, delete. So mat icon delete, that's it. All right, so what we can also do is here pass inside mat icon delete, and let's just check it out if it's working. All right, so we have, okay, now it's all fucked up, but we can fix it. So now we have mat icon delete. All right, so we can delete from the data results. And how you can do that, on click, all right, delete data, and what we'll do, you can pass the actual object, which is, let's say, civic, or we can get the index of the data. So let index, let I equal index, and I just can pass the ID of that index. So let's go create our delete. So delete data, and we'll pass the I, which is a number. So now the only thing that you can do, it's the easy, it's very easy. So you just do this data result, right, dot splice I, and one count. That's it. It's so easier. And also you can do validation on this, but for now let's just keep it as simple. So I click accord CRV. I want to you see, so I remove all of them. So but now what I want to do also, now everything is removed, I want the loader to go back. So what I can do this data dot length is equal to 0. So I want, if the data results became 0 after I'm deleting everything, right? I want this loading to be true, or else I don't need the else actually, so just keep it as undefined. So now what will happen if I click on Civic Accord, let's say I remove, so now my loading is back, you see? So this is, I remove all this, perfect. We can also tweak it a bit. Now we can change so many things, we can create so many stuff right here. I can do on click here that this change the color, you can do so many things, you know. So I can also here end the click right here. I can also create a special class and I can call it a node click / active, right? And in this click, every time you click on the loading data, this will become active. So I can do, let's say, node dot clicked, for example, stupid example. So if you go back to the node, I can just create this clicked. All right, it's a boolean, right? So in my data it won't be available, but node.click equal true, node.click equal true. What did I do wrong right here? Blah 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 blah. I can, so node.clicked, and in my loading data I can do it right here. So node.clicked equal true, and here I'm passing the node.clicked, and now we have to create the active part. So I go back to the TS, where's the node click, and you do end, you pass this like this, and color green, for example. So if I go, I clicked, so now it's green, you can't see it well. So I'm gonna do font weight bolder. So let's go back. So now you see it's more bold, so you can see it. But now every time you click on it, it stays click, right? So there's so many ways you can tweak everything. So this is the basics of Node. Like I mentioned, if you guys need a special video about nodes or anything about Angular, please do not hesitate, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I'll also share very soon another video on Angular and how it works. This will be very helpful for you on the job, on a daily basis job, because you will be asked to do a tree node and nested nodes. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.